It's impossible to really understand the history of this country unless one understands that religious experimentation, religious radicalism was there at its very, very root. Going back to the 1600s, the U.S. colonies were considered a safe harbor for people with radical religious beliefs. All kinds of different little mystical Christian grouplets from throughout Europe, and that inspired people to found their own colonies. And very early on in American colonial history, you start to hear about things that we later came to call seances and channeling and mediums, and people were sort of branching off into these little grouplets. It was a very, very rural country. You really had very little social life outside of farm, trade, and church, and people would experiment. They would form either into pre-existing fraternal orders like Freemasonry, or they would form their own little colonies.
Mr. Will said we'd start our own settlement in the Promised Land.